Okay, let's put something in perspective. This show gave a few things to some people that they needed, but the rest of the show really felt like big questions that a lot of people would say it's incredible. But actually going from SummerSlam, which was an okay show, doesn't mean it was incredible. It was an okay show. To this, makes you wonder, is the direction they're going to pay off? Because we don't know what's about to happen. I've already filmed my gut report on Vince McMahon and what could happen. But honestly, I'm not telling you that Vince didn't have some hand in the show, because there were some bookings that really didn't make any sense to me personally. Unless it does lead to something else, we'll have to wait. But if they don't lead to it, I know Vince was involved in it. But this show right now gives so many questions. I know people are going to be so happy and fascinated by it. But as it stands right now, where the shows have not been 100% stable or been great, only the last couple of weeks they've been okay, I don't know. Opening, we got Charlotte versus Asuka. Due to the fact that Charlotte got spit in the face with the mist, that is why they had this match. And to be honest, this match felt off. I'm telling you. You see this match. I know how both of them work together because we've seen them enough together that when you see Asuka work, you know a certain style she works. You see Charlotte work. We know how Charlotte works. It was like someone told them both, go out there and just do whatever. I'm telling you the truth. That's what it was like. It was like Asuka was told to go out there and do whatever you need to do to make this mean something. And then Charlotte was told, go out there and do something we haven't seen before. And that's what we got. Asuka being more aggressive with Charlotte, where many people are going to be fine with. But when you look at Charlotte, she was trying different moves that she normally does not try. And she looked terrible at them. I commend her for trying it. But I'm going to be honest here. It was like Charlotte was told, go out there and just do something different. It doesn't matter if you botch. And that's what we got. And to be honest, her doing a forward flip and nailing Asuka in the face did not look good. Her jumping off the top turnbuckle and trying to do a splash on Asuka did not turn out right. Her regular ring work just didn't look like it normally does. And I've always said this, and I mean it. Charlotte is not a father. She cannot put anyone else over with herself. She just does not have that gift. Understand, guys. And I know there's going to be people who don't understand what I'm saying. I'm going to explain it again to those who already seen it and those who do not. There are several different types of wrestlers. You have one style of wrestler that is like a Ric Flair. That is a very great wrestler that can get himself over and the people he works with. That means he has good chemistry. He can guess generally how they work and to make them look good, which will make him look good, as long as he doesn't be trying to overdo it to make them look great. He does enough that helps them, and if they're good wrestlers, they will do it right back to him and make it mean something. That is one style of wrestler. There is another style of wrestler who cannot get someone over. They just can't. They have the problem of being able to wrestle, but they just don't have the ability like a Ric Flair, that they can anticipate that person, they can work with that person with this style and make them look great. And as long as they don't overdo it on their part, they'll look great too. Unfortunately, that doesn't work. That's what Charlotte is. Charlotte can wrestle, but she cannot wrestle and get someone else over with herself. She just doesn't have that gift, no matter if she tries something new or if she uses the same move she's always done. That just is not within the criteria. And then you have someone in between. Someone that can get themselves over, like a Charlotte, but can also get someone else over, but not to the extent of Ric Flair. That's the third category. Now, Asuka's that type of person. She's been known that she can get people over, but not 100%. Say with Asuka, she's like 50, 60%. She's not like Ric Flair, who's known to have been almost 90% able to get almost anyone over. If they said at one point, if you put Ric Flair in the ring with a broomstick, he'll get it over. And he's done it. So when it comes to Asuka, she's somewhere in the middle. She can do it. And she's been doing it. But when you look at this match, it just didn't seem to work. And that's what the problem was. The person that got over the most here was Io Sky. When she came out with Bayley, with Dakota Kai. I don't think she's cleared yet, but she can be out there. And pretty much, she nails both of them, throwing out the match. But then you wonder, what the hell does mean? I mean, it's obvious that she's going to have a match probably with both of them. Probably either going to be a triple threat or singly. Either one is going to be her first opponent or the other. It might be Charlotte first and then Asuka second. Or it could be Asuka first, which most people expect from a Vince McMahon booking. They want to get Asuka done first, and then they'll throw Io with Charlotte. That feels like that's what they went here. But for both of them doing that type of match, I don't agree with it. Next, AJ Styles versus Karrion Kross. And this is where it made no sense. No sense. None. Because, 1, he lost. 2, Mi-chan, in other words, Mia Yim, she is a manager now. I have barely seen her wrestle. And mind you, I've seen Jade as she was known at one point, or Mia Yim as she was known before that. She can wrestle. She can talk. She's a beautiful woman. And the only thing I've seen of Mi-chan is her wearing blue and showing a lot of titty. And that sucks. Because she's one of those women that they need on the roster that should be getting over, that can be in the main title picture for an Io Sky. Against a Charlotte. Against an Asuka. No. She is literally doing nothing but being a handler for the OC. And that is wrong. Or better yet, an OC, not just the OC, but mainly for AJ Styles. It's a waste of time for her. I don't know why she went back to WWE. Literally, they're not using her. I feel sorry for her. And then the last thing that makes almost no sense whatsoever. The vid pack that aired before the match happened. Where he was talking about, it is time to get an AJ Styles. It's time to do something. It's time to go to the next level. We've seen, and he's talking about him and Scarlett, that having extra people can be an asset. And it looks like when you have a cult, you need disciples. If you have an ideal, you need disciples. That's basically what he said. So, you have Karrion Kross record this vignette, this vid pack. They show it before the match. He has the match. He gets his ass whooped, even though Scarlett tried to help him. And also, she got thrown over the commentary table. And I got to say something about Kevin Patrick in a moment. But when you see this, where's the disciple? What was the point of doing that vignette now when he doesn't win a match? And it's before the damn match even happens. That makes no sense. Now, let's do Kevin Patrick. He is now on SmackDown with Michael Cole and Corey Graves. Because right now, Michael Cole is on Raw with, well, I gotta say this. Wade Barrett on Raw does feel different. And I like it. But one thing I've noticed when it comes to Kevin Patrick, he just doesn't have it. It's not because of his accent. Look, I've heard Niles McGuinness. And he's great on commentary. When he's working in AEW, when he works in ROH. I love him. He sounds great. He also works in Collision. He sounds fine. There's no issue there. Wait a minute, is he on ROH? I think he's only on Collision. My mistake, I'm sorry. I have no problem with someone with an accent doing commentary. But when you hear Kevin Patrick, it's like he's trying so hard to be exciting at certain times, and it comes off as monotone. I don't know what he needs to get straightened out. I don't know what it is. It's like his delivery is just wrong. It's not about just his excitement when he tries to say it. It's like his delivery and the way that he presents himself is off. And I'm not feeling him. I wish he would just go to NXT and go down there maybe and try there, because they tried him on Raw, and I don't think this is going to work on SmackDown either. Eventually, either going to be on main event or he's going to go to NXT and maybe become an interviewer or a commentator there, because I don't think he's going to work. I'm not feeling him. I'm not. Moving on. Let's get to the match that is like, really? Really? I got to do this match. And I know you're going to say, are you going to do the LA one first? No, I'm doing this one first. We got the U.S. title. Austin supposed against Santos Escobar, but he takes out Santos first when he's doing an interview and messes up his left leg. Then again, as he's coming out and he's cleared to gingerly come out to the ring, he gets nailed again, and they decide to use Rey as the one to do it. Really? There's only one thing that's going through my mind when I saw this happen. When Santos gets taken out again, and Adam Pearce says, "Go Rey. Go Rey." There's only one thing that's hitting my mind. Only one. Because we know Rey won. This is about Dominic. My feeling is this, and I could be 100% wrong. Dominic is now going to drop in the next couple of weeks or next month or two the North American title. And then he's going to be appearing on SmackDown, and he's going to challenge for his father's title. That's what this is all about. They let Dominic get a title just as a trial run to see if he can handle it. And now, guess what? Now that Rey's won the title from Austin Fury, which it should have been Santos Escobar in the first beginning, unless Santos is hurt, which I don't know if he's actually hurt. If he actually is hurt or not, I feel that they're going to let Dom go after that title, and Dom is going to get it. He's going to go from Raw to SmackDown, mess with his father, at a pay-per-view he's going to get that shot, and then he's going to win it because of mommy. Really? This is what's going through my head. Now, I could be wrong, but you guys tell me below. Next, it's going to be LA Knight versus Top Dolla. This is where I'm going like, really? It wasn't even fair that LA Knight had to be dealing with a freaking Top Dollar. I know he already went through Adonis. I believe he did already. And he beat him. Now he's going through Top Dollar. This was a joke. Next to Michael Cole still ribbing a Top Dollar. Still messing with a Top Dollar because of what he did last year. Trying to do a helo over the top turn rope. And the only thing he did was lay his stomach on the top turn rope. Flip over. Hurt his knee. And look like a bitch. And I'm not being mean either. That's what happened. Everyone saw what he did. And they said he looked like a damn bitch. I am not being disrespectful. I'm just telling you what they said. And when you see this situation, you're going like, this ain't gonna last long. And the blunt force trauma to the head. And LA Knight, who's got a really bad bruise, I think here or here. You could see it was black, almost red, and almost nearing black. And he said, I'm going to be taking everybody out. LA Knight, yeah, that's my boy. But here's the thing. If Rey is not going to drop that title to Dom, because that's the way I think it is, why didn't you do this with LA Knight? This would have been good to see LA Knight get that title, unless he's going to get it from Rey. I just feel like he should have been in the title contention, taking out Austin Fury, and then pretty much keep that damn title. That's just me, guys, down below. Edge showed up on the show. Now, next week is his 25-year anniversary being a pro wrestler. At least for WWE. But he said since they were in Calgary, he had to come out because he saw on the docket they were going to be in Calgary. He hasn't been there for a while. And he made it very clear, you know what, I just want to come out here and I want to call somebody out. Because he originally, if the last segment of the night had not happened, originally would have been Sheamus and Edge, real story from Sheamus and Edge. That's what would have been. But this didn't, I just couldn't do it. So we had Sheamus get called out by, wait, let me crank back. I remember seeing Celtic Warrior Workout 2019. I saw the episode. I saw him writing, and I also saw him exercising with Sheamus, explaining how he did planks and how he kept himself in good shape. And he said, because of Sheamus, real life, that is one of the reasons he felt like he can get back into the ring. And he said when he finally realized after that tumble on the floor, tumble when they were riding bikes, and then wondering could he go again, he called Sheamus because he felt he was the best person to help. And Sheamus literally went to his home, went to where he was living, I guess, moved in and exercised with him. Wait a minute, actually, did he say he went to a hotel? I think he moved to where he was living, stayed in a hotel, and literally trained with Edge to see if he could do it. And Edge said he beat the crap out of him, but he found he could wrestle again. And he said after all the years that he had been working, before he left, him and Sheamus never touched. So he called out Sheamus with the brawling boots, and Sheamus gave him a little story of his own. Because Sheamus got into the ring, Holland and Pete Dunne were there. I was about to call him Butch. And he says clearly, you know, I helped you, and I'm glad I did it, because you're great. But I gotta say this, because, honestly, I wouldn't be here because if I hadn't met you. And he said back in 2004, when he was lost, he was not sure what to do, because he was wondering, should he just go and work the job he was already working, or should he continue wrestling? WWE was near his home. So he went there. He tried to talk to some of the people there because he was a wrestler. And he asked, could they give him some advice? Nobody talked to him except for Edge. And gave him just a little bit of advice and tell him to go and drink a pint. And he said because of that, he didn't quit. And because of that, he's in WWE. And he says, pretty much, if it wasn't for you, I would not be here either. As much as I helped you after you were gone for 9 years, I wouldn't be here if you hadn't helped me in 2004. So he agreed. Next week, they're going to have the match. And he made it clear, I hope you didn't make a mistake. So, next week, we're going to see Sheamus, and we're going to see Edge in a match. And actually, I am looking forward to that. This is a match I'm actually looking forward to. Because since they've never wrestled, other than when they practiced, when Edge was trying to figure out if he could he wrestle again, this is going to be interesting. Now, I'm not saying there's going to be a storyline or anything. There is a story. These guys, literally in real life, helped one another. Edge helped Sheamus to continue wrestling when he was nearing a point where he should quit and just go and do maybe construction, IT, whatever he was doing. And Edge, when he decided to come back, he literally thanked Sheamus for that because he called him, not saying he wasn't feeling good when he came in and was willing to do a couple of things, but Edge really thanked Sheamus for that because he really pushed him a little bit. I'm looking forward to that. Final thing, and if I'm missing anything, am I missing anything? I'm going to leave the Bobby Lashley with the Street Profits because we don't know what the name is and we don't know how far they're going to go. I'm not touching that. In particular, we don't know about Bianca. Will she join them? I'm leaving it. Hogan today, supposedly, on this day, 70. Okay. Hogan's 70 years old. At least he survived his, 9 back surgeries? I think Hulk Hogan had 9 of them. I can't remember. It was 9 or 10 back surgeries since the time he's been wrestling because his back has been so screwed up. Whew. I'm just saying. But this is the last thing I'm talking about. the closing of the damn show. And that is a Bloodline moment. And now Roman is the longest running champion of any promotion right now. I think that might be in one of the smaller indie promotions that is not seen internationally, that has someone that's lasted more than 1,076 days. He's now broken the record of Nick Aldis in NWA, where he was 1,043. I have to acknowledge that, because I'm that type of person that if I know I'm wrong, or if I know I remember something, I gotta say it. So, there you go. But he comes out. He wants everyone to acknowledge him. He's wondering where Jimmy is. Jimmy is at ringside when they had the lights down a little bit. And he gets into the ring. And he says to Roman, well, first he doesn't say anything to Roman. But Roman says, I owe you a favor. Whatever you want, you got it. You want a car? I got you. You want a boat? And he says, no, not a boat. A yacht? I got you. If you want money, I got you. You want a house? I got you. He says, and this is Jimmy. He says, I ain't do none of that. I ain't do nothing for you. This is nothing about you. And then Jay comes out. And when he does, he gets into the ring. He is ready to rip his brother's head off. And he says, give me one reason why I don't throw away 37 years of life with you. And he shoves the mic in his chest. And he says, and this is the thing that got me. I'm going like, really? Are you actually going to do that? Instead of admitting that you did not want to become tribal chief. Now understand, I know a lot of people are pissed off that Jimmy did what he did to Jay, and it didn't make any sense. You guys are forgetting, months ago, when Jay, well, not months ago, almost a month or so ago, when Jay said he was out, he got Jimmy out, and that he said he was out, and he super kicked Roman in the face. Before that segment happened, Roman said openly that Jimmy did not want Jay to be tribal chief. He didn't want it. And Jay never denied it. No, not Jay. Jimmy did not deny it when Jay confronted him in that damn ring before he super kicked a Roman Reigns. So there is a story there, guys. If you think there isn't one, there is, if you haven't forgotten. Jimmy admitted what Roman said, that when he was being considered to be the next tribal chief, Jimmy said, I don't want him to be tribal chief. That's what he said. He admitted to it. Then he got kicked out by Jay, and then Jay kicked himself out and then super kicked Roman. But this, hearing him say, I didn't do it because of jealousy. I did it because I loved you, because I didn't want you to go down the same path and become another Roman Reigns, an I can't even say it, a bullshit artist that sucks dick. I think I cannot believe I can't say egotistical. There you go. Or is it testicle? Okay. He says, I just was afraid to see that you'll go down the same path as Roman. That's why I did it. If you want to super kick me in the face, you want to whoop my ass, do it. And he turns his back on Jimmy. Jimmy goes out of the ring, and Roman's telling Jay, you see? Tell me I'm not wrong. What did I say? The only thing you need to understand, in the last 3 years, you're just dumb. You just don't get it. You let emotion control you. You need to see that I've been holding it for the last 3 years, and the only thing you need to do is acknowledge me. And he super kicks Roman. He beats the crap out of Solo. Then he calls Jimmy. Jimmy thought, oh, he doesn't hate me no more? He changed his mind. He comes back, and then he starts running to him, and he gets super kicked in the face as well. And then the thing that's going to make this very interesting, he says, you know what? I'm done. I'm done with the Bloodline. I'm done with Smackdown. I'm done with Raw. And I'm done with WWE. He goes into the crowd. He shakes hands. He hugs people. And he's out. He's out. Jay is out of the WWE. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Does this close down the story that I had made about him becoming tribal chief? No. I'm sure everyone else is not going to see it that way, because they'll they're not going to think, unless there's a real report that Jay has left WWE because his contract is done. I don't believe it. This is what the story might be. That he's going to be gone for the next couple of weeks to maybe a month, and then he will reappear periodically. And then he'll mess with Jimmy, he'll mess with Solo, he'll mess with Roman, he will mess with Paul, and maybe we'll see him dealing with a Sami Zayn. Yes, we know Sami had a problem with his elbow, but it doesn't mean that he can't get in front of the camera, and it doesn't mean that Sami won't call Jay and ask him to come work with him and be a tag partner since Kevin Owens is injured. If it counts on how bad not Jay, but Sammy's elbow is. Because usually when something like this happens, they usually have to have surgery. Now, if he doesn't need surgery, if he's going to be all right and he'll be fine, he may just call Jay and start working with him. We will see him talking to Jay on the phone, or Jay will come see a Sami Zayn because he's always been there. Remember that one time last year that he was said to acknowledge Jay. That is Sami Zayn acknowledges Jay. He's the first one to truly acknowledge him. My feeling is he's going to go full circle and he'll go right back to Sami. And from there, he'll build himself up, and then eventually he'll re-confront everyone. I think he'll confront Jimmy first, then Solo, and eventually he'll go after Roman again for the Tribal Chief moniker if there will not be a Rock showing up by WrestleMania, because who knows? I don't know. But this is the best type of story I can see. And maybe, just maybe, you'll get a Jey Uso becoming the true Tribal Chief as he's supposed to. He will not turn on anybody. He will just be the Tribal Chief. But that's just me. And I hope you enjoy this. Peace.